Alright, Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh by Hashem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacle of David, spread throughout the full corner of the earth, wherever you may be. Wherever you may be, to I say Shalom, Shalom. Alright, this is an article I saw. Forgot to get to it, but here it is. So it says, Israel's bombing of Doha sparks global fury as even U.S. allies turned against Netanyahu. Right, Israel's bombing of Doha sparks global fury as even U.S. allies turned against Netanyahu. Okay, so this is the current situation. All right, we've heard about the bombing of Doha. Okay, I'm not sure what that picture is, but we don't need it anyways. It'll probably keep loading up as we read. So let's get down to the article. So bullet points here. There's like what, 5? So Israel launched a deadly airstrike on Doha, Qatar, killing 5 and sparking global outrage over its violation of sovereignty. Okay, now Doha was playing middleman mediator, for different peace talks. Okay, so and I mentioned this. I'm not sure it was yesterday, the other day, whenever it was recently though, super recent. That which we all know this because according to prophecy, but the state of Israel is not looking for peace. Okay, they're looking to fully carry out their greater Israel plan. So peace talks are not on the table for them. I mean, well, they may be on the table, but peace talks are not in line with what they have in mind, because they have peace talks on the table, but it doesn't matter. All right, because they're not looking for peace. They're looking to control all the territories that belong to us, because in Esau's so-called new world, all right, the new Israelites will be those Amalekites who have been parading already as us. Okay, and so a major part of pretending to be us, or two actually, because I can't forget about that. This third temple that he's trying to, speaking about, all right, a physical building, but the Bible speaks about a spiritual one. So I mean, that's strike one, and then also the lands that belong to us. All right, those are promises to the Israelites. Okay, so they're using the Greater Israel plan as a part of achieving, that territorial conquering, which means they have to go into and take over other surrounding countries, which a lot of those happen to be, you know, filled with so-called Arab people. Okay, um, Qatar and allies condemned the attack as a dangerous escalation, vowing diplomatic and legal retaliation. Oh yeah, we also talked about, I think that was yesterday, where this now makes maybe like the third time where these Arab leaders are supposed to come together and have a talk about, the state of Israel and their, we'll say, exploits, right? So continuing on, the U.S. distanced itself but avoided direct condemnation, straining ties with Gulf allies and exposing Israel's defiance. Civilians in Gaza face renewed displacement as Israel's strikes draw comparisons to the October 7 attacks. Legal and diplomatic fallout looms, but U.S. protection may shield Israel from real consequences, as they always have. Because either America's giving the green light on something, or they're behind the shadows green lighting something, or they're backing them up, which a lot of that we see on the main screen, which is funding them. Okay, so one of those three categories, because America is the state of Israel's wallet. Okay, the state of Israel has America in the back pocket. Okay, um, the world watched in stunned disbelief on Tuesday as Israel launched a brazen airstrike on residential buildings in Doha, Qatar, a U.S. ally and host to America's largest Middle East military base. The attack, which Israel claimed targeted Hamas leaders negotiating a ceasefire, killed at least 5 people, including the son of a senior Hamas official and a Qatari security officer. But the real casualty may be Israel's already crumbling international standing, as even its closest partners condemned the strikes as a reckless violation of sovereignty. Okay, now, as of right now, things are what they are. But according to, what, we can actually get that, because we can read a few scriptures now, which is not going to take long, because this is straight to the point. But eventually, which this more so speaks about America and not the state of Israel, But I mean, the state of Israel and America are both going to be left to themselves because I mentioned that, I believe it was yesterday, how you have the state of Israel and they're attacking all these different areas around them, okay, and they're drawing a lot of attention and hate from those areas, and then other people who are not even involved in it are looking at them like, hey, what are you doing? Right? This is Gino and not Gino Jennings. Okay, this is Gino. Okay, and so people that are not even involved in this are actually speaking about it against them. And then when you go across the waters and you get to Babylon the Great, you have the Edomites here doing the same thing, okay, where they're now attacking everybody, okay, and but theirs more so is in a form of slander, and they're trying to go after guns from everybody, all right, even the trans community, okay, so they're attacking them, all right, the people that so-called voted for the red, all right, they've done them wrong, and so they're pretty much because but this is what we keep saying, that you people don't have rights, man, and your government doesn't care about you. They are carrying out the plans of the so-called elite banking families. Okay, so you have Edomite East and Edomites West, and they're doing the same things, just from different types of point of views. One is war, one is slander. Okay, but they're all doing what? Attacking everybody, and everybody, and it says, man, I just had the script on the tip of my tongue. Man, I just had that. That's not the one. That's a good one though in Isaiah, where it says, your shame shall be seen." Okay, uncover thy locks, pass over the river. Man, it's okay, it's okay. But I'm gonna make this other point since while we're talking about America, then we get back to the article, okay, and talk about what this is with Qatar and the state of Israel. So, and we can get right to the point, because eventually these so-called allies of Babylon the Great, they're gonna turn against her. Okay, and a major reason behind that is because of the state of Israel, because the scriptures say that the least of the flock shall draw them out. And the least of the flock is talking about the Amalekites, those that are in the state of Israel. They're the ones who are dragging America into a point of no return, into different wars. All right, maybe even proxy wars possibly, but you get the point. Wars in general. Okay, and the ultimate war is World War III, and they're not going to be able to pull back from this. They're going to have to fight. They're going to also have to defend the state of Israel because they're attacking everybody. They're going to need the assistance. So they're going to actually, their allies are going to, have to come as well. But the allies are not feeling the state of Israel or Babylon the Great. Okay, and there's been things that have been said as threats against them, and they're not feeling those things. Okay, Japan recently had a memorial for Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but they're somewhat allied with America. But do you think they've forgotten about that? So everything's in line. All right, the Lord just he slowly works up to his plans though. And we'll just get the point in verse 16 and 17. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. That's the nuclear missiles. For the Most High hath put it in their hearts, their minds. All right, the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord, in their minds to fulfill his will, Isaiah 46 and 10, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast. Okay, you get a NATO, the EU. All right, and to the words of the Most High should be fulfilled. What words? We just read it in the verse 16, the desolation of Babylon the Great. See? So going back to this article here, and back on track. Let's see where we stopped at. Crumbly. Yeah, I think we read all that. So the strike carried out by Israeli jets around 4 p.m. local time sent shockwaves through the region. Qatar's foreign ministry called it a cowardly Israeli attack and a blatant violation of all international laws. The Gulf nation, which has played a key role in mediating Gaza ceasefire talks, which we mentioned, vowed to pursue all diplomatic and legal means. In response, I believe we posted a couple clips of a speech that the one guy was at, the guy that was in all white. Majid Al Ansari, Qatar's foreign ministry spokesman, told reporters that Israel has sent a dangerous message. Mediators will be scapegoated, will not be safe, and there will be no respect for the sanctity of their job. So this is the message that I guess under the well, I'm not sure. I mean, we don't see Netanyahu, but whatever the case may be, he's the face. Okay, whenever you hear about things, it's always Netanyahu as the face. Mediators will be scapegoated, will not be safe, and there will be no respect for the sanctity of their job. Okay? A wave of global condemnation. The backlash was swift and near universal. Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, the UAE, both U.S. allies, warned of grave consequences from Israel's criminal transgressions. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, I think it's Erdogan or something like that. Anyways, Erdo, in allied in called the attack a blatant violation of international law, because there's certain rules of engagement in wars and stuff like that. Okay, so violation of international law. While Jordan's foreign, which whatever happened to that? What's the name of those people? Was it the ICC or the ICJ? One of those two. If they're not like the same, I don't think they're the same. But one of those was supposed to bring Netanyahu to court. Whatever happened to that? No one heard about that anymore. Okay, where he was supposed to be called to the Criminal Court of Justice, the International Criminal Court. Okay, or it was one of those two, ICC, ICJ, something like that. Okay, whatever happened to that? Okay, because he's supposed to be a war criminal, right? Yeah, well, what happened to that? It makes you think about the rats in the sewer. Okay, that happened. Was that in New York? Just swept under the table. Just no more information about that, huh? I just thought about it randomly. Anyways, while Jordan's foreign ministry declared it cannot be justified under any circumstances, even European nations that are traditionally more cautious in criticizing Israel spoke out. Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni opposed any form of escalation. Switzerland's foreign ministry deemed it unacceptable, and Belgium's top diplomat insisted there was no military solution to the Gaza conflict. I mentioned these Arab nations. All right, they're going to eventually resort to their nature, like it says in Genesis 16:10, which is as a wild man. Okay, speaks about that in the book of Second Ezra. Okay, they're going to waste the part of the land of the, I think it says Syrians or something like that, and then they had the upper hand and just more fighting. Right, it's all speaking about World War III. The United Nations didn't mince their words either. Secretary General Antonio Guterres labeled the strike a flagrant violation of Qatar's sovereignty, while Pope Leo described the situation as very serious. Okay, so Pope Leo even spoke about it. Okay, he described the situation as very serious. Bear with me. Meanwhile, social media erupted with outrage, with many pointing out the hypocrisy of Israel attacking a country that hosts 10,000 U.S. troops. The U.S. is caught in the crossfire, as always, because anything that involves the state of Israel, America's not too far behind, because they're always sitting in the back pocket, right? The attack put the Trump administration in an awkward position. While the White House distanced itself from the operation, with President Donald Trump calling it not a decision made by me, which he's lying. All right, somebody made a decision. They had to know about it. Possibly not, but I don't see it. I believe they knew about it. Okay, it stopped short of condemning Israel. Eliminating Hamas is a worthy goal, Trump's press secretary said, even as the president admitted the strike does not advance Israel or America's goals. But yes, it does. Yes, it does. It advances Israel's goal, because, as we just spoke about, Israel has the greater Israel agenda. So as long as someone keeps trying to make peace talks, it slows them down, because now you gotta, we're gonna put this peace talk on the table. All right, then we're gonna agree to peace and release these people and these hostages, and then more bombs have to drop, because they have to keep pushing forward for their agenda, man. So yeah, that just slows them down. So it does, okay, hinder them, because it slows them down whenever they have to heed to a peace talk, okay. And they're probably grimacing their teeth like, damn, man, okay, because they're gonna drop another bomb, okay. What do you think the Edomites did, for example, with the so-called native tribes, man? Every single treaty, every single talk and treaty or whatever, they broke and backstabbed, okay? So, well, let's keep going. says that it does not advance Israel or America's goals. Reports later revealed that Israel had only notified the U.S. minutes before launching the missiles, leaving American officials scrambling to assess the fallout. Yeah. Qatar, for its part, denied receiving any advance warning and said that a call from a U.S. official came only as explosions rocked Doha. Okay. The Emir of Qatar later spoke with Trump, who assured him such an attack would not happen again. Yeah. But given Israel's defiant tone, Defense Minister Israel Katz declared Israel's long arm will act against its enemies everywhere. Few are wow. Israel's long arm will act against its enemies everywhere. Few are convinced. Okay, and that long arm being America. America is an extension of the state of Israel in a sense. Not really, but in a sense, because America's always there to back up the state of Israel in all of their exploits and everything that they do. Okay, so at some point they got to say things like, yeah, we're not okay with this, or we didn't say this or that or whatever, just to make things look like, yeah, we ain't with this, but really they're with it behind closed doors. Okay, Qatar, for its part, I'm sorry, we jump back up. Let me jump back down. For Qatar, the implications are profound. The nation has long balanced its role as a U.S. ally with its hosting of Hamas's political office in an arrangement the U.S. once supported for indirect communication, as Qatar's ambassador to Washington wrote in 2023. Now, the delicate equilibrium lies in ruins. The GCC, Gulf Cooperation Council, response may be the realization that U.S. security guarantees are no longer as valuable, said Cinzia Bianco of the European Council of Foreign Relations. No one is safe. Right? The human cost beyond diplomacy. Amid the geopolitical fallout, the suffering in Gaza continues unabated. On the same day as the Doha strike, Israeli forces issued new displacement orders for Gaza City, forcing families to flee with nothing but the clothes on their backs. The irony wasn't lost on observers. While Israel justifies its actions as self-defense, see, there you go. And what was the last lesson we just talked about? Victim mentality, self-defense. And how are they playing off of that? By not letting go of the October 7th, okay? It's in every third speech. The October 7th, Hamas did this, October 7th, October 7th, October 7th. They're going to keep using it over and over and over, all right? And they're now, wickedly using the Bible to justify their means of action, their course of action, which is genocidal war. Okay, its strikes in Doha and Gaza have killed far more civilians than the check that out. Let me light it up. Its strikes in Doha have killed far more civilians than the October 7th attacks. It cites as provocation. See, that's crazy. As the UN Security Council prepares an emergency session, the question lingers: will there be consequences for Israel's defiance? And as I said the other day, I wonder what solution they're going to come to. Are we going to have more talks? Are we going to try to make more peace? Are we going to try to smooth things out? Are we going to go to war? Like, is it going to escalate? So what's going to be the outcome? We have to wait and see when the meeting comes up. Qatar has promised legal action in South Africa's ongoing genocide case against Israel at the you see, that's what I just mentioned. See, it was in there. Okay, so I was like, I thought there was something, directly towards Netanyahu himself, but either way, this still cuts the cake. You see, South Africa's ongoing genocide case against Israel at the International Court of Justice, the ICC or ICJ, just gained new ammunition. The there's ICC too, but this one is the ICJ, International Court of Justice. So that's the one. Okay, or unless the ICC is looking, to talk to Netanyahu, I'm not sure. It's just a quick search, anyways. But yeah, Israel at the International Court of Justice just gained new ammunition, but with the U.S. still shielding Israel from accountability, don't hold your breath. You see, and that's what's going to keep happening. And these countries are starting to hate, these people. All right, and that hate is going to probably already spreading, but to make the point, spread to America, because America is okaying their actions and they're not okay with this. See? So yeah, very interesting article there, and I wanted to read into it. So Israel's bombing of Doha sparks global fury as even U.S. allies turn against Netanyahu. All right, and those two allies, or I think it was more than two, but I know it mentioned Saudi and Arabia and UAE. I think it was those two it mentioned. If it was another one, I can't remember. But you know, hey, you see what the Lord is doing, man. He has so many things in the work. Okay, so you know we just gotta keep watching these things. Okay, so Lord willing, you will edify there. This end of this various article session. Shalom.